Numerous programs aimed at empowering the youth. But despite these initiatives, unemployment remains the biggest challenge facing the demographic that makes up for 75% of the population. This is according to the 2019 census. Is there any hope for the youth seeking to change their lives? Well, KTN Rita Tinina explores. In Meru town, 35-year-old James Murage is at work, trying to make ends meet through his movie and gaming business.
2013, nikaanzia tu hivyo mdogo mdogo na we actually with one screen.
He is hoping for better days ahead.
Future expansion too.
If the law promises by government and politicians were implemented, it would not be a far-fetched dream. But even he is not counting on the government.
For me, nimetry kwenda kuhasodoko kwa youth funds. Of course, that's the line maybe the government can come in. Of which nienda hizo ofisi, wakanizungusha tu, you actually had to give up.
Perhaps the story of thousands of youth like him. The Constitution is explicit on the empowerment of the youth. Article 55 stipulates that the state shall take measures to ensure that the youth access relevant education, training and employment.
But the good story ends there because the Constitution is not self-actualizing. We need make systems in place. We need strategies. We need plans. We need programs. We need resources.
But empowering the youth remains a challenge, one that has been a headache for successive governments. Various youth empowerment initiatives have been rolled out over the years, including Kazi kwa Vijana, Kenya Youth Empowerment Project, Uwezo Fund, Youth Enterprise Development Fund, to Kazi Mtaani, all aimed at empowering the youth through employment or access to finance. Some of the programs have been rocked by corruption scandals, such as the irregular payment of 10 million shillings to 4 youth groups by the Youth Enterprise Development Fund.
Most of these programs are not comprehensive. First of all. Two, they are not, the budget do not match the magnitude of the problem. Three, you will find that they're really patchy program. It's really touch and go. It's just for the moment.
The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics puts the rate of youth unemployment at 38.9%, about 5.3 million of the 13.7 million people between the age of 18 and 35.
We just massage youth, but if you look at the concrete strategy that can empower, can deploy, and can train and give them career development, it's not there.
The rate of unemployment is perhaps illustrated during political campaigns. To politicians, the youth remain an asset as they seek to demonstrate their political clout. When political rivalry escalates, it is the youth who engage in political violence.
We have a youth bulge that, if not properly handled, can be a time bomb that can blow this country to pieces.
There is mobilization without emancipation, that these youth are mobilized, but they are not given the enablers to be able to thrive as citizens. And so politicians would love that, because politicians seem to be thriving in situations where the population is deprived.
Proponents of the BBI are reaching out to the youth with the BBI proposals, among them 7-year tax breaks for youth enterprises and the establishment of business incubation centers to nurture innovation and prioritize self-employment.
There is no any document in this country that has ever taken youth matters seriously the way BBI has done.
Despite all the programs, constitutional provisions and tons of promises, the youth unemployment curve remains on an upward trend, with an estimated 800,000 youth entering the job market every year. Rita Tinina, KTN News. Now, since the BBI campaigns began, various leaders have been tripping over each other, scrambling for the significant youth vote. The same efforts continue to be witnessed as the 2022 race gathers momentum. KTN's Alan Ochanda looks at the value placed on this majority group, even as they continue to reap little from the very politicians that they continue to fight for.
In less than a year, the country will be heading to the ballot once again to change the country's apex leadership. With this in mind, all presidential hopefuls have hit the road running, courting the masses. And as is the norm in every cycle, one of the most sought-after groups is the youth. According to statistics, this lot accounts for over 70% of the country's 47 million people, a population that can easily tilt next year's polls outcome. The BBI, championed by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM boss Raila Odinga, has anchored the Youth Commission in the BBI. The commission seeks to ensure the youth are an integral part in decision-making, especially on matters affecting them.
It is ultimately completely imperative that we ensure that our youth are consulted regularly, that their interests and views are consistently taken on board as we make future policy decisions.
My reservations is that even the past has shown that politicians approach young people with sweetness, but indeed whenever they take power, they don't address the issues that affect the youth. We know, of course, the obvious issues: unemployment. We have the issues of, drugs, and drugs, of course, is caused by desperation because people have nothing to do.
Those who have faulted the initiative, however, argue the proposal is untenable and just a mere campaign tool. President Kenyatta's Kazi Mtaani initiative was also seen as enticing. The same youth, with numbers, academic qualifications notwithstanding, have been scrambling for the menial jobs. To counter this, his estranged deputy William Ruto has been crisscrossing the country empowering the youth. Initiative's eventual objective, though similar, the architects are going for each other's throat.
What policy is that? Kurudisha watu huko kwa mababu zetu wakati walikuwa wanasukuma wheelbarrow za wazungu.
Si tuko na mradi wa serikali inaitwa Kazi Mtaani. Si watu magraduate wanachukua panga, wanachukua slasher, wanaenda kukata nyasi. Sasa tofauti ya hiyo Kazi Mtaani na kununulia mama wheelbarrow aweke matunda yake ndiye aweze kuuza, iko wapi tofauti?
The election cycles have been characterized by cyclic violence, with the youth being front and center. So what exactly makes the youth resort to such acts cycle after cycle?
Because of the unemployment of the youth, it is very, very easy for you to be able to get them together, offer them something very small, and they'll be able to be singing your song, And unfortunately, they will sing your song today and they'll sing the other person's song tomorrow, depending with how much you pay.
Yes, the youth form the largest percentage of the country's population, but unfortunately, they are the most vulnerable. And as to whether the promises made to them by the political bigwigs in the country will materialize is a matter of wait and see. Alan Ochanda, KTN News.
And that report by Alan Ochanda brings KTN